Well, students in the LA Unified School District are heading back to class today, entering their third school year impacted by the pandemic. Things are getting a lot closer to normal, but there are still concerns about the lasting impacts of the past 2 years, especially on their mental health. Now, here to talk about the school year ahead and joining us live this morning is Dr. Evita Limon Rocha, a psychiatrist with KP Riverside. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, first day jitters, they're normal, but after the pandemic, the first day of school could likely be more stressful than before. Can you just talk about that impact?
Definitely. We've been in kind of several years of chronic stress, worrying about our loved ones, worrying about just basic routines have all been altered, sleep-wake cycle, where to kind of how to get your groceries. Everything has been completely disrupted. So I think it's definitely very understandable to be kind of worried to start the new school year, especially if a student has been out this entire pandemic and this entire time.
Right. And what if this is the first time that children are returning to school after remote learning? How can parents ease that transition for them?
Right. So a variety of ways. So one is the basics. Good night rest is important. Having kind of a planned meal, whether it be kind of where packed lunches, snacks. I think also is always good to practice meditation, slow, deep breaths, taking kind of moments at a time. Depending if there's a higher level of anxiety and worry, maybe notifying a counselor or a teacher, or have like a friend to kind of get them through the day or kind of different ways to help.
And I'm glad you talked about rest because we know sleep, rest, so important. In California, the laws changed and now middle and high schoolers are starting later. What are your thoughts on that?
So sleep is important. I think that in terms of assuring quality of sleep, assuring technology, I think that's one of the biggest things I talk about almost every day, multiple times a day, about putting technology down so we can allow our brain to sleep and rest. TikTok, Instagram, all the social media can wait. The news can wait. We need good rest. So I think that's incredibly vital and important. We know a lot of students tend to end up kind of physiologically staying up later and so, but I think all in all, the most important thing is assuring that quality of sleep by putting that technology away, putting that television off so that we can sleep well.
Yeah, now, absolutely. And sadly, depression, anxiety in students have more than doubled compared to pre-pandemic levels. How do we identify it and how do we take action to fix it, for lack of a better word?
So I think that recognition is really important. So if we notice students aren't having difficulty getting out of bed, they're not changing their clothes, they're not wanting to brush their teeth or shower, they're isolating more and spending more time alone, they're grumpier, more easily angered, they're not doing the things that they would normally enjoy doing, like if they love reading or playing the guitar, or and now they're not necessarily doing those things, or eating less, there's changes in appetite. Those are definitely things to recognize. I think one of the things that we need to do is spend more time as a family, whether it be kind of just a family dinner, so that we can recognize there's changes in our students, adolescents, or children. So if there's any way to do a check-in and develop that relationship so that we're able to recognize, hey, there's a change in my child. Let me kind of try to figure out what's going on. If there's ever a concern, I think it's always important to, just like we would seek help for a broken bone, or if we had some sort of bacterial infection or kind of any medical concern, I feel it's really vital and important to seek that care and not be afraid to ask for that help.
Yeah, absolutely. Socializing also so important. I know for my nephews, they were pretty much just inside with their parents, our immediate family, for 2 years. Are there any suggestions to help kids socialize or help their parents help them socialize? Should we be concerned about it, or are kids able to just kind of pick it up?
So it's individual dependent. So what I would say that if they enjoy a particular sport, kind of getting them to join a sport, or whether it be a club, we're trying to foster kind of whatever interest they may have, whether it be martial arts and kind of learning something, or kind of a sewing club, kind of figuring out a way within the classroom or a social setting to allow them to socialize and kind of get used to, especially if they haven't been around other children or other teens for a while, then I think that would be really important to have them kind of join some sort of group, or whether it be a youth group or some sort of sport. to help.
Yes, thank you. And finally, doctor, with socializing, the risk of bullying can come. So are there things that parents can do to maybe help their child if their child is getting picked on?
Right. I think that open dialogue and fostering that dialogue between parent and child or teen is so important. That's why kind of spending time, whether it be no electronic time and just sharing a meal together to check in and see how things are going, kind of creating non-stressful kind of times to connect so that we can be able to better check in and say, hey, what's going on, or learn about what's, if our adolescent or teen or kiddo is being bullied. So it's so important for that open dialogue so that they're able to vocalize, hey, what's going on, whether it be there's some anxiety, there's some depression, or there's things going on at school that are causing a lot of stress.
Yeah, an exciting time, but definitely can be a stressful time. Dr. Evita Limon Rocha, thank you so much for joining us.
Such an honor. Thank you so much.